He's got the hard hat, the vest on. We are inside an active construction site right now. If you are from Chicago, maybe you visited Chicago, you've probably been to Navy Pier. I am inside what used to be the Navy Pier IMAX theater. You knew this is one of the just really traditional huge IMAX screens. Unfortunately, that is gone now. But fortunately, they're putting a pretty cool attraction in its place, and it is sort of cinematic based. It's going to be called FlyOver, and what it is a ride, a motion simulator ride, sort of like if you've been on a Disney World. Epcot at Disney World has a ride called Soarin', which is one of their most popular rides over the last, I don't know how many years since it opened. But you sit in these seats, and you are going to be brought up into the air and surrounded by a 65-foot spherical screen. And on that screen, you will be seeing visuals, aerial visuals, all kinds of really cool things all about Chicago. And you will be flying through the city of Chicago for about 8 to 10 minutes. I spoke with Lisa Adams. She's the VP of the FlyOver company that is putting this ride together. A lot of technology is going into this. As you can see, a ton of work is happening here, and she told me all about what we can expect when this thing opens.
We are creating an immersive experience, 3-part story about the city of Chicago, its people, its places, and its soul and the spirit. So you will come to FlyOver and you'll spend about 25 minutes with us, and you'll go into Act 1, which is a welcome experience, and you'll start to meet different characters of the story of Chicago. Act 2 is this completely immersive standing experience where you'll walk into a room, 360 degrees around you, there'll be screens all the way around you, and then a central screen on the floor and a central screen above. We'll start telling you the story of Chicago and its people, and we'll spend a lot of time in the neighborhoods and give you a reason as to why we're going to end up in the downtown area flying through the urban canyons. Act 3 is the flying component. The flying journey really begins. There's a 62-seat flying ride. You will enter on one of the 3 levels. You'll sit down, put a seatbelt on, and then your ride vehicle is going to roll out, and you'll be immersed inside the 65-foot spherical screen, which goes all the way around you and underneath you. There are a few different ride systems that are out there. We work with Brogen Technology, and our ride system, as I said, you enter on 3 different levels, and there's a bunch of actuators behind each ride vehicle, and it truly makes you have 6 degrees of movement. So 20 years ago, 30 years ago, there wasn't quite as much movement, but we have 6 degrees of movement, so you can twist and turn, dip and dive, and really feel like you're sitting in the seat of a plane or a hang glider, or the movement and agility of a bird. Then there's also advancement in screen technology. So we're also used to sitting at home and watching our HD TVs. Projecting onto a spherical screen is a whole different game. So advancements in the quality of the capture of the footage that we're able to do and project, advancements from single projectors to multi-projectors. We're going to have a multi-projector system here, but 10 years ago we opened with a single projector in Vancouver at our first attraction. There's developments just on actually how we capture the footage as well. We've typically always worked with helicopters and mounting a camera on the front and the nose of a helicopter, which people are familiar with. In Chicago, we have built and worked with a bunch of incredibly smart people to custom make a heavy drone that will, for the first time, be able to carry the type of camera that we're working with. So we're breaking ground on that front too. And we've had to have a lot of different people come together to make it happen and work. And as you can imagine, Chicago has a lot of different signals going on. It's a big of the 3-level ride being built. The next component of that will then be the ride installation of the actuators and the pods. So that will start to happen in probably a couple of months. And then also the frame and the screen. So we're really out of the major construction of the taking down of the old IMAX space, making sure that the design and the structural components are there, and now it really is ride systems, show systems, fixtures, finishes, you name it.
Is the screen the last element pretty much that goes in?
The screen and the ride go in together simultaneously, so you'll start to see all of the things come up, but then the screen is one of the final pieces because of how delicate it is.
And then obviously you mentioned you're going to start shooting in a couple months here. That's got to be the major piece, because then after that is when you do all the programming, right? Once you get the cut down of what the movie's going to be?
That's right. So we've been doing a lot of scouting over the past year for the film. We've got a wonderful animatic, and now we're going out in June and we'll finish up in October for the main shoot. We will then put the film into post-production and then put that onto the screen, and then that's when we do the programming of the ride. And programming of a ride can take almost up to 4 weeks, and every single little movement is meticulously programmed so you feel like you're there.
Can you tell me a little bit more how much, like what the investment cost is here? Are you revealing that, or like how much does it cost to build something like this?
Yeah, we're in the range of about $40 million, so it's not a small feat. There's a lot of parts and moving pieces to it, and big physical structures, screens, rides, etc. So we're going to be here for a long time, but yeah, $40 million circa.
Yeah, it's interesting where the industry is, because you would think something like this in the past maybe you would only find in a theme park atmosphere where there's already a bunch of other rides, but you're seeing more of these type of attractions go into either resorts or into like a mall setting or like a pier setting, tourist setting like here. Do you notice that? Like that seems to be a change of seeing like major attractions in just random places now.
Yeah, especially for the flying journey style attractions. When we opened, we were the first one to prove the model that this type of experience works outside of a theme park. Since we opened in Vancouver 10 years ago, we turned 10 actually June 29, the industry has exploded. And we feel proud about that, because these experiences are truly moving. I genuinely have seen people emotionally impacted by going and seeing the place that they live or where they grew up, or taking their grandma or their grandfather or their young child with them to experience a place that's close to the heart in a way you've never seen before. So the more of them, the better, in my opinion. And it's great, I think, because you link into that feeling of pride of place. But I also think that shared experience and the feeling of flight are just something that humans are always going to want to gravitate towards. And that's why I think flying experiences or flying journeys really stand alone by themselves. So it's 25 minutes, 30 minutes. You get to do something that you've never done before in ways that you've never done before, and go to places you probably could never go. So it's April of 2023 as I am recording this, but the attraction is not going to open until the spring of 2024. So you can see, you can hear, they've got a lot of work to still do to get this thing done and get it up and running. They still have to shoot all the video that you're gonna see when you come here to the attraction, but I'll keep you posted on it, because if you've been on rides like these before, you know they are a ton of fun. And if you're a Chicagoan, it's gonna be really cool to have an attraction of this scale in your own backyard. So stay tuned, I'll have much more on it. FlyOver Chicago coming in spring of 2024.